web series, episode 5. For this adventure, we are going to Miami. So let's get started. Miami begins on page 42, and this is one of the more shorter sections of the book of my story. It's page 42 to 47. So as I flip there, I'm hoping and wishing that everybody is having an awesome start to their week. Everything is going great. You're feeling great. The allergies, the spring season isn't really kicking your butt as it is mine. And I hope everybody is, staying firm, staying prayed up, and everyone is in, good standing mentally, physically, and all that good stuff, right? So let's get into it. Here's when I played cool. We're on page 42. Luxury and leisure presented itself abundantly. For some, a mere fantasy, but for us, a very real reality. So this is when I kind of got to experience life abundantly as it relates to like materialism. So experiencing, fine dining, admiring beautiful houses and beautiful properties, and waking up to the beach, waking up to summer weather, nice weather every day, living life freely, experiencing the best that life has to offer, like whenever you want, and just kind of be like a kid in a candy store in a sense. In Miami, for me, it presented luxury and leisure without a doubt. Like every minute there's engines revving, every night there's lights, cameras, actions, there's people out, there's people having fun, laughing, enjoying whatever it is. It's like Vice City. So like it's real, you know what I mean? It's real. For people who have access to these types of luxuries, these types of leisures, are in these types of circles, it's a very real reality. And for some, it's kind of, watching from the outskirts and just admiring. And in some cases, that's okay, because I did mention Vice City, so you could kind of let your brain wander, let your mind wander on that. And Miami was amazing. People live a fancy life, going to the beach and partying and everything like that. It's a lot. This is probably the most active city I've ever been to as part of like the major cities in the United States. Miami, and this was Miami Beach. It was very active, like every night. Like I said, engines revving, restaurants packed up to the rim, and luxury cars, luxury clothes. It was a sight to see. It's definitely not a place for children. After a certain age, I guess you would enjoy it in a different way. I guess certain parts you would avoid, like that beach. I think it was, I don't know if it was Biscayne. I'm probably mixing up the streets, but it was like very active. Like it's a young crowd, people wanting to be seen, people riding around, making noise, blasting music and stuff like that. At some point in time, it was just like, okay, I'm gonna be the old man and I'm gonna turn in and for the night. And for me, it was just exposure into what life could be like if I should let it. It just reminded me of New York, but with warm water and constant sunlight, short rain showers and stuff like that. But it was always active. It was like very active, like all the time. You know what I mean? And this was March, so this wasn't even the summertime. I could imagine the summer months is probably way more active, right? This was a time in my life where I made it a reality. I didn't want this type of living. I didn't want these types of experiences to be a fantasy. Like I wanted to be in the mix. I wanted to be a part of, what was going on. I wanted to be down in a sense. So I'm going to all the luxury restaurants. I'm wearing all the luxury clothes. I'm hanging around, affluent people and everything like that. At some point, it just became a little bit too fast paced for me. It was a bit too active for me. So I just, decided to kind of, experience it and then sit back and then judge the situation. Like, is this what I want my life to be, or what I want to affiliate myself with? Is this who I want to affiliate myself with? Do I want this to be my life in a sense? Do I want this type of lifestyle to be my life where it's always lights, camera, action, it's always something going on, there's never really any downtime, and if there is downtime, you're gonna it's gonna be cut short, and it's gonna be then replaced with you preparing to go out and be in the mix yet again. So, for me, it was just a great experience. It was great to like witness it and see that other side of what it meant to be like, all eyes on you and everything like that. So it was cool. But I'm too much of an old man. Always been that way, even when I was a child. They would nickname me the old man, or you're so wise and everything like that. So yeah. But definitely, if you're in that life, to be last is to be left. I much rather settle for, the chill and the cool and the calm life. I much rather that. Like, and then sometimes I like to dibble and dabble, be in the mix for a little bit, but okay, when I'm ready to go, I'm ready to go. Hang out a little bit, but when I'm ready to bounce, I'm ready to go, and then that's just that. So true luxury True leisure is having a relationship with yourself, having a relationship with, you know, a higher power. Whether you believe in God or you believe in this or believe in that, you got to be believing in something. So that's what true luxury and leisure is for me, like your state of mind, your well-being, and everything like that. So thank you for coming through. Again, this was the shortest part of the book. This was actually one of the more shorter trips. Also, going to Miami Beach, it was amazing. I would definitely go back. Where I stayed on Washington Avenue. It was like active, 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 active. Like it's in the middle. Like it's Washington Ave, and then it's like one more street over, and then I think after that, like it's the beach, like straight like that. So we were like really like in the mix. I went with my cousins, and this was like during COVID, so it was a lot of pressure. It was a lot going on at that times, but it was an amazing experience. No matter what, would I do it again? Yeah, probably with a different crowd. Probably not like be in the mix, but like be on the outskirts. That way I could have a little bit of like the best of both worlds. Get the hype life, or you know, the active, and then have a little bit of the calm, chill, laid back. Like I like the best of both worlds. I don't like it to be active 24/7 around the clock, and I don't like it to be too chill. You know what I mean? All the time. So I like a balance. I think that's good. So thank you for watching. This was episode 5, Make Believe from Everywhere, the web series, and I'll see you next time. Take care of yourself.